Hi, thanks for tuning in today. Today I have something completely different. And of course by the title you know exactly what we're going to talk about today. And this is something I haven't covered on this channel in the past. And you're usually used to seeing this guy right here on one of my other channels. So a lot of you won't know this about me, but I actually was in herpetology in the 90s. My family's had snakes since the 60s. You know, I have a picture when I was a little kid with a big Great Basin gopher around my neck. So today I'm going to show you something really quick and simple about how to quarantine new snakes. Very inexpensive. This is what people are doing long before this industry arose, where they have all these specialty products that you can buy at PetSmart and off the internet and from ZooMed and all those places. You don't need any of that. It's nice, yeah, but people were doing this long before. So what you want to do, let's get down. What you want to do is when you bring a new snake into your collection, Phoebe takes his place. You want to keep the snakes completely separate, isolated, completely different room, different air, everything. You know, most snakes nowadays are captive bred, so you don't have to worry about this. Back when I was doing it, a lot of snakes were imported from other countries. And so, but you still have to worry about the source, where you're getting the snakes from. So what you want to do is isolate them. Let me show you something really expensive that I use. This is just a Sterilite container. You know, Rubbermaid, Sterilite. You buy them at Walmart, wherever. You see the little wheels on here? There's a wheel. This is meant for going under the bed, for storing clothes and things under the bed. This works great because it has locking ends. And you can drill holes in here to let a flow of oxygen, flow of air. And I don't know if you can see on this one, can you see the condensation? It should show up. That makes the humidity rise. So let me open this up. Where'd it go? Oh, it went to the other side. So this is actually a little, is this ZooMed? I think it's ZooMed. The humidity inside here, it's dropped. It's saying right now it's below 50% humidity. It was hotter, the humidity was higher. I keep it in a hot end of the house on the south end. But this is just a temporary. Then it will go in an actual enclosure that keeps the humidity higher. I'm going to show you a way to heat it too, inexpensively, that actually will make this rise. So it's saying it's 92 right now. So the temperature is 92, which is good for these guys. The humidity is actually dropping now. I think it dropped because I moved this container and took it out of this container. It just dropped 10 degrees. It's dropping into the 30s. You know, Utah is notoriously dry, and the snakes I have in here need high humidity. So this thing is dropping as fast as it can, and it's only because I took it out. It normally was above 80 degrees humidity. So let me show you what I have in here. The lid's all wet on the inside. So you can use any kind of water container. You can put it over the heat source as long as it's not too hot to create extra humidity. You can also spray with a bottle. I just have a little piece of a brick, just a rough little brick that I know was sterile. You can also bake these in the oven to sterilize them. But this is for shedding purposes. And just a couple little cheap enclosures, nothing special, because this is the isolation cage, you know, where you're keeping the snakes separate. You want to quarantine them. So this is just a cheap little dollar container, like $2, give them shelter. So what I have in here is I have a couple royal pythons. And one of them just shed. There's its skin. So let me get a little bit closer. So you need the high humidity, and you need a surface that they can drag their skin on. So this guy, there's his tail, and this is still kind of wet. I used to do this all the time in the 90s. If you have patience, you can unwrap this. But let me show you these two little guys. So they just ate. They're captive bred hatchlings. They're a few, a month or so old. So the scientific name for these guys, oh, I hit the camera, sorry. Let me fix this. I bumped the camera. Okay. So here's these guys. Their scientific name is Python regius, which translates into royal python. And of course the pet trade likes to call it a ball python because it curls into a ball. But it's royal python. Ooh, that guy's more shy. He doesn't like the camera lens. This guy is more shy than the other one. And I think this is the guy. Oh, he just went. There's a reaction of not wanting to be held. This guy just urinated on my hardwood floor. There you go. I'll put you back. Where's the paper towels? Here's the paper towels. Yeah, so these guys, you have to hold them a lot to get them used to captivity. Watch it, Phoebe. You know, even though these guys were bred in captivity, they're not used to being held. When I bred a lot of snakes in the 90s, including Phoebe, get down, Burmese pythons. I did albino Burmese pythons and red tails and also royals in a house I had years ago. The babies would bite. You get bit all over, and then they stop biting eventually when they're used to being held. But these guys are kind of new. So let me show you a quick heating source. This is a quick and easy heating source when you don't have a regular enclosure. I do have the heat light, so let me show you that. So this is a heating pad made for your back. This is 12 by 15. It's made by Sunbeam. It just has 3 little switches here. What you do is, I have a metal surface this is on, that this whole container sits on, and I take this, put it under one end, and put it on low. Alright? And then I usually put the water near it, but not completely on it. And I'll put in one of these little plastic enclosures I showed you, one over it and one away from it. So they have a warm and cold so they can go back and forth. And when it's warmer out, it's not a problem. It's just in the wintertime it gets a little bit colder, and so you want to make sure you keep that temperature up. And their final enclosure will be regulated with the proper temperature and humidity year-round. But this is just a temporary situation for quarantine to make sure. They have paper towels in here, like you saw me just toss the paper towel roll. So if there's any bugs, any mites, anything like that, you can see them. Real easy, and here's Athena. Real easy to see them. So, you know, in the 90s you could run down to your local store and get one of these, and it would not have an auto-off switch. You know, all the stores now, every store out there has it with a 60 or a 2-hour turn-off, 60-minute or 2-hour, because there's stupid people out there. And people, I guess, got burned and want to sue them, or they complain, or who knows what. They're just idiots. So you cannot find this, or at least I can't find it in any of my stores. I actually got it off Amazon. It's Sunbeam is the brand, and I read in the reviews that people said they were getting it for a reptile enclosure for snakes, and they guaranteed it didn't turn off. I got this one. It does not turn off. It does not have an auto turn off, and it has a little red light right here so that you know it's on all the time. And I have the temperature gauge in there to check it. So this is just a simple, fast, inexpensive setup. You have baby snakes, you need to quarantine them, and those two were sold together, and that's why they're together. If I bought those 2 snakes from separate locations, they would have been 2 of these boxes. But they were caged together when I purchased them, so that's why they're staying together. And very inexpensive. I already had the container. All I had to do was get this. And this is inexpensive too, less than $20, I believe. But that's just a quick and simple way to quarantine the snakes. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Just make sure the temperature is up there, above 80, preferably in the 90s. You can cool at night, especially when you're breeding them. You want to cool it at night. But keep the humidity up there. Spray it if you need to. You don't want cold. You don't want to be spraying cold water on them. And we'll show you how to take care of them more later and how to feed them. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe, give us thumbs up, and share all our videos across social media because it'll help us. Thank you.